Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 38 months now, just over 3 years. What I'm healing from, in the description box below: Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS dysautonomia, multiple chemical sensitivity, mast cell activation disorder, migraines, hypothyroid, fibromyalgia, systemic exertion intolerance disorder, SIBO, and a bunch of other stuff. It's all in the description box below, and if you want to know more about my story, how I've been healing, how I got started, it's all in videos that I've already done. So today it's time for What's Up Wednesday. That's when I come in here and make a video about my healing journey, what's been going on for me this past week, and here we go. It's been a rocky week. It's had its low lows and it's had some ups, and the ups have been fantastic. When I was in the lowest point of low, I reached out on Instagram and just said help. No, I made a video about it, but I made a post that just said, please, I'm really struggling and I can't seem to see the light right now, and I just need you, please, if anybody can spare a prayer, could you please pray for me and my family? Because we still are in this RV and we've been in here for months now, and it's a lot. And we're trying to find housing and it's not going well. For some reason, there's just nothing on the market that suits our needs, and it's hard to keep the faith in it. It's hard to keep my healing routines going. Now, when I say it's hard, I mean I'm still doing the basics. It's always going to be medical medium food. It's always going to be talking to the angels. It's always going to be keeping my fats low. However, for me, a struggle is if I put fat back into my diet at all, which I have, and I don't even know what's going on with me right now, because I know very well that my body does not like fat, and it keeps telling me, what are you doing to me? Why are you doing this? And it's not like even a lot of fat by any American diet standards, or even a regular plant-based diet where it's a lot of nuts and seeds and coconut oil and all that stuff. Like, I don't eat oils, and it's not a lot, but it's, for me, it's a lot because I don't usually eat any, and it's a lot to me, and it messes up my skin. I don't know. The camera doesn't always show, but especially with this light, but my skin is a freaking mess. It's a hot mess. I put aloe on it to try to calm it down, and it does calm it down somewhat, but it's like, no, it's a crazy mess. And it makes me really sluggish. Like, I need any more of fatigue, because I'm so adrenalized right now. I'm so adrenalized that my nervous system is on overload, and I notice that my nervous system's on overload. We went and looked at some houses this past weekend. 3 houses. Well, we looked at houses 2 days in a row. The first day was 2 houses, but I could only go into one of them. And then the second day was 3 houses. And I went into all 3 of them. I should not have. And I kind of knew, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I wanted to see, and it just did not go well. I reacted in a way that I have not reacted to anything in months and months and months. It's what I used to refer to as my mast cell reactions, because what happens is my face gets all red and hot, and then I get all these prickly red bumps that itch, and it's like a rash on my face, and it just itches and itches and itches. And I used to get it on my chest too. I don't think I got it on my chest this time, but that hasn't happened in so long. Even if I go into like a Target where it's just freaking chemical warfare, I have not had that happen. But this time in these houses, oh my gosh, you guys, it was painful. And I didn't know it's been so long since I've had a reaction like that I actually didn't know I was reacting. Now, I used to always know because my face would get hot. It's like I'd feel the rash popping up. But this time, I was aware of the brain fog that I was starting to have being in these houses, because that happens too. I will get brain fog, I will get sluggish thinking, I will get confusion and memory loss, and the physical manifestation of the rash, and it itches. I was like scratching my face for a full day. I'll get all of that, and sometimes if I'm in a place too long, I will get migraines, and I got all of it. And I know that when my nervous system is stronger and my immune system is stronger and I'm not fully adrenalized, that I could have probably been okay in those houses. I wasn't in any of them for very long, but I am fully adrenalized and I am not okay. And well, I shouldn't say I'm fully adrenalized, because I'm still functioning, but for me, just the level of adrenaline going through my body for the past several months it's not good, and it's feeding pathogens, and it's making me crazy, and it makes it really hard to keep focused and to wake up every day and say, I work for God, I work for the light, and to just be functional. It's hard. It's like it's hard to stay in the light. And I did those 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, of my responding to people's comments, because the brain fog did lift. When everybody prayed for me, the brain fog did lift, and I felt lucid, and I was like, oh, there it is. There's the light, and there's me, like my light. You know what I mean? If you've been chronically ill for a long time, which is probably why you're watching this video, if you understand chronic illness and you know what it's like to be chronically ill, it's like you lose your light. And we all have this beautiful light inside of us. It's our souls, it's our spirit, it's who we are. And when we are feeling ourselves, that light just shines through, and we can see it and other people see it, and it's beautiful. And when we're not feeling ourselves, maybe other people can still see our light, but we have a hard time seeing it ourselves, I think. At least that's my experience of it. And when you have ongoing fatigue and you have your adrenaline running all the time and you're completely stressed out, and it just makes the fatigue worse and it makes you feel badly, you can lose sight of the light. You can lose sight of it. And thank goodness for this medical medium community, and thank goodness for the medical medium information, because he does have information in the back of the first set, all of the books actually. He has meditations that we can do, and there's the radio show that he's done on self-compassion and on Soul's Gold that really help you remember your light and have compassion for yourself. And sometimes when a person is feeling really low, like I was, I had trouble accessing all of that. Like, I knew the information was there. I knew I had these tools. And I just felt too bogged down and heavy and cloudy to use any of them. I am an emotion code practitioner, a certified emotion code practitioner. I have emotion code. That's an amazing tool. And when I was that low, I couldn't even do emotion code for myself. I had a friend who also knows how to use emotion code, and she did emotion code for me. And I had another certified emotion code and body code practitioner reach out to me and say, I will do a session for you, or a couple of sessions if you need it. I just want to help you lift out of this. And oh my gosh, you guys, so many amazing people, and people offering Reiki, and I was just like, yes to everything. And I didn't do the sessions with the certified practitioner, not because I didn't want to, but just because I was incapable of sort of connecting with other humans at that time. Now, I came out of that thanks to everybody's support and love and help, and I am so incredibly grateful for that. And I'm still riding this wave of like in and out and in and out, and it kind of gets dangerously close. And so I'm not like going back to that level, but I'm definitely still struggling. It is hard, and I'm struggling to the point where I know that I've let the fats in, and I am such a slippery slope person. I was sitting there yesterday eating Siete chips, which is something that I don't ever eat because they have oil. They're the no salt ones. That's great, but they have oil. And I was eating them with some of my homemade salsa, which is delicious. And I was sitting there eating them, and I'm like, just kind of having a conversation with myself, like, Ichoda, what are you doing? What is going on right now? This is like the third day in a row you've eaten these chips. This is not you. You don't even eat these chips. Why are you eating these? And I'm like, because I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. I was like, whoa, I have not used food in that way in such a long time. This is like, okay. I'm clearly really struggling. Because, yeah, to realize that, I was like, okay. And then I finished the chips. So, it's not... Look, if you're going to eat chips, Siete Foods, I think, is a pretty clean chip. I don't know for sure. They are not on Medical Medium's recommended page, so probably, like, they're a little too processed, or... Well, they're not hydrating at all, obviously, because it's just made from flour and oil, and yeah, that's not going to be a healing food. It's definitely not hydrating. I don't know if you've noticed this, but on the list of the most healing to the least healing, it's the most hydrating to the least hydrating. Medical Medium doesn't do a lot of dehydrator recipes. He's got a couple, but he doesn't do a lot of that because... I know that raw foodists aren't going to like this, but here's the thing, is that the food basically isn't raw if you've dehydrated all of the nutrients and enzymes out of it. And when you dehydrate food, you're taking the living water out of it. And that's the whole point of it. So having a bunch of like dehydrated foods and then saying, oh, I'm a raw foodist. Well, yeah, okay, you are, but is your food hydrating you? Are you getting the most out of your food? And it doesn't mean it's wrong to eat those things every now and again, but like in cooking, steaming is like the best. It's still dehydrating, but it's got more moisture in it than, say, baking, because baking takes all the moisture out of something, and so that's even more dehydrating. Do you see there's kind of like a hierarchy almost of, there's just levels of like, the most hydrating is raw food in its pure natural form. And then the more things you do to take moisture out of it, the less healing benefit you get from it. That's all I'm saying. Obviously, steamed potatoes still have an incredible healing benefit. Baked potatoes do too, but a little less so. And you want to always eat hydrating foods with them, because then it keeps you from becoming dehydrated, because the whole point and what is so important to our healing is hydration, hydration, hydration. That's why he has like the Mega Hydrate supplement. That's why we always eat so many raw fruits and vegetables. That's why the adrenal snacks are what they are. All of that food is hydrating. Anyway, that's like a little side rant or whatever. And it makes me feel better to talk about. I like talking about health and hydration and how things work and what I've learned from the Medical Medium information. And this is stuff I picked up over time. And fat is obviously the least hydrating because it pulls stuff out and it blocks absorption of nutrients and minerals, and it takes extra nutrients to digest, so it pulls nutrients out from where they're needed to get it through your system. At least in my brain fog state, that's what I understand. And then yesterday, I missed it live, but I caught it a couple hours later thanks to a good friend of mine sending me the link and saying, oh, did you catch this? And I'm like, I didn't. But then I watched it when she sent it. So Medical Medium did a live on Instagram. This is a little 15-minute live. and where he talked about celery force. And I swear he did this live. I know it wasn't just for me, because I know so many of us have brain fog right now. But he always knows that, like, okay, they really need to hear this right now. And so he talked about that Vimergy supplement, Celery Force. And it was interesting because I tuned into live, I start watching, and he said, so many people have brain fog right now. And I instantly knew he was going to start talking about that supplement, Celery Force. I had not at that point ordered any yet. And he talked about it, and I was like, oh man, that's another supplement. And I'm trying to figure out like what. And I'm like, I need it, because he's talking about neurotransmitter support and how it really supports the brain and it helps enhance the function of celery. It is not a replacement for it at all. And it does not have celery in it or anything like that. But he's talking about how it really helps with brain fog and how he had used it himself. And if you want to go watch the live, it's on Instagram, and I'm not going to try to recreate it for you because I'm not going to do it justice. You go watch it. But and then he did one on Facebook afterwards, and I'm actually going to watch them again because I think I missed some stuff even in 15 minutes because of my brain fog. And I'm like, okay, this supplement keeps coming up in my attention, and it keeps, it's like the universe is saying, you need to take this. So I was like, fine. And I'm like, you know what? Not just me, but my family needs to take this. Like, we're all feeling a little brain fogged right now, and I know we could all use this. So I was like, fine, and I ordered a case of it. The reason I ordered it, I say a case, it's 12. I don't know if there's 12 in a case, but in my mind there is. And the reason I ordered it in that quantity is because then you get a 15% discount, and it was basically almost like getting 2 bottles free, which, yay. Yay Vimergy for doing that. Any discount is great. So in about a week, I will have some Celery Force, and I'm going to start taking it, and hopefully that is going to help with this brain fog that just keeps persisting. And I know it's this adrenaline. It's not, my body is doing the best that it can always. It's always working for me, and it's always working to deal with whatever I give it. And even this week, it's like, oh, I don't like what you're putting in me, and like, we got these, Costco had these really cool vermicelli made with mung bean noodles and potato starch. And I was like, oh, and it's organic. I was really excited about it. I bought a package of it, and I tried it in different ways. I made like a veggie stir fry with coconut aminos. I don't like to do coconut aminos a lot because it also messes with my skin, but it was like a quick and lazy meal. That was pretty okay, but it sort of needed more flavor. What else did I do? We tried it with the cheese sauce, but it wasn't that good because it doesn't have its own flavor. Like the black bean pasta has its own flavor that complements the cheese sauce, and this did not. It's definitely more for, I think, like Asian style dishes. Obviously it's a vermicelli, that's what it's for. And then I made a pad thai. Like the sauce is raw, but the noodles are cooked. And I knew I made it thinking like, okay, my son's gonna like this. And so, but I had some too. It's a nut butter based sauce. And it doesn't have like a ton of nut butter in it, but it has nut butter in it, which is, if there's one fat that my body just does not like, it's nuts and nut butters. It's just, it does not. Seeds are but nuts and nut butters, it's right out the other end is what happened. Okay, so my body went, nope. And I was like, oh, right, that's what happens. It always with nuts and nut butters. I think really the only fat that my body's like, okay, you can do this one, is avocado. And it's because it's like the fastest digesting fat, and it also has a sugar, and it's kind of its own. Avocado is really in a class all by itself. I don't know where it came from, but it's such a different kind of fruit, It's so different to like anything else on this planet. It's amazing. And it does have incredible healing properties all on its own, which Medical Medium talks about on his blog and in Life Changing Foods and all over the place in all his books. He talks about it in the first book, and I'm sure he's talked about it in like every book, but yeah, avocado is like the only one that my body's like, okay, you can have this. This is all right. It doesn't get mad at me. But every other fat, like oils, no. And that nut butter, just, no. Just liquefied my insides. So this is why I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I mean, it was delicious. And that's the thing, is it's like, oh, this is from my taste buds. And I think it's like there's endorphins or something that tastes good and creamy and has that fat. Like there's something about it that it's just, and it's numbing. It's numbing. I don't want to feel all these hard feelings. It's difficult. I haven't been remembering to say I love you to myself when I'm having these hard feelings. I haven't been willing to be with the feelings and sit with them, because I just am like, it's too much, I can't, I'm not strong enough. I really am feeling lately like I'm not strong enough. Sometimes I feel like the universe is testing me and I am just failing miserably. Like I'm like, I can't do this. I am not as strong as you think I am. Okay, I'm not. So cut it out, because I'm not. And the universe is like, wrong. You are, and you're gonna do this. And I'm like, no, I don't want to, and I can't, and why? So it's a struggle sometimes. Honestly, I feel like that's a struggle we probably can all relate to. I feel like everyone watching this video can relate to that, because, I mean, don't we all just get to this point where we just feel like, enough, I cannot take one more thing, I can't handle anymore, I am not this strong, it's just enough, please stop. Like, please, can I just get my best life? Like, please, can I just... Why is it so much of a struggle so much of the time? And you know what? I didn't feel like that when we had space and we had an apartment. And I know it's not supposed to be like, your happiness is not supposed to be based on your external circumstances. So I feel like, oh, I'm failing that too, because my external circumstances are really affecting me right now. Like not being able to find suitable housing, and even to rent. And because I know people are going to ask me this, because they do. I know somebody's going to say, well, what about renting? Could you just rent instead of buying a house? And yeah, I've certainly considered that, and I'm looking at both options. I genuinely am. Because at this point, housing is important. And if it's going to get close to winter soon, you know, like we're going up on September, and I know we can, like, you know, weather-wise it'll be fine in September and maybe into October, but the Midwest is really unpredictable weather-wise. It could be freezing, it could be warm, I have no idea. It could be both. It could really be both. And I don't really want to be in, we're all just getting fed up with this situation. It's beyond. We've been fed up with it beyond, and I am not zen enough to overcome my circumstances and just be like, oh, it's all good, because it doesn't feel all good. It feels like I'm in a cage. It feels like I'm a trapped animal in a cage. It's not fun. And you know, for 18 months we lived in that apartment, and there were some struggles with the apartment, but we had space to move around, and I think I was a lot more zen about it. Like I was a lot more able to cope with the struggles that we had there. I don't know, because I could rebound, and because I could just move around my apartment, and even if I did not go outside very often because of the weather always being so extreme, I still had light coming in, and I don't know, I was just much more able to cope with my circumstances. And honestly, I thought that when we got here that housing would be cheap, because it's the Midwest and it's certainly not going to be as expensive as it was in Portland. And somehow it is, and it's really weird. Like, it's really weird. Like, how is it just as expensive here as it is on a coast where it's beautiful? Like, it's not beautiful here. Like, I mean, there are parts that are, but in general, it's the Midwest. It's kind of blood, brown, like the waters are all brown, and it's very toxic. Anyway, I don't want to go into all that because it is really weighing on me lately, and the toxicity of the area is really, really weighing on me, like a heavy, heavy lead weight. I don't want to talk about it because it doesn't make things feel better, and I need to keep a light heart. Medical Medium on the live yesterday on both of them said, we gotta keep a light heart. We gotta keep a light heart. And I'm like, how do you keep a light heart when you're so hyper aware of all of the everything that's going on this planet? I mean, yes, we have the information to heal, and it sometimes feels like the world is against us. And it's, I don't know, it can feel lonely in ways, because it's like, yeah, I have this amazing community online, but if I talk to any of my people in real life, like that I used to know from this area, I'm like, how do I talk to them? Because I have a big, loud mouth, and I can't help that when people start complaining about their health issues, as inevitably they will around me, they always do, I can't help but blurt out, oh, well, that's caused by Epstein-Barr, and oh, well, that's caused by strep, and oh, well, that's caused by shingles, oh, well, you have a sluggish liver, and oh, well, that's because you need adrenal support, like you need to support your adrenals, and like, I don't know how to not say these things. And if I don't say those things, it's like painful to me. If I don't tell the truth as I know it, because like it can help people and I know it can help people, if I don't say that stuff, it hurts me. And if I do say that stuff, it gets weird with them because it's not the world they live in. There is so much heavy metal damage here that it is very hard to break through. It is very hard to get through. And anyway. Not that I really have been talking to very many people here, but a couple I have. I feel like everything's too overwhelming for me to try to really let this area at large know, like all the people that I used to know here, like just to publicly be like, hey, I'm here again. It feels like way too much for me right now, because having to explain over and over to people, well, I can't really handle going out in a group situation, and because I already, when we were in the other town, I knew people there from back in the day, and they had like this big reunion party, and they're like, oh gosh, you should come. It was on the 4th of July, and they said, oh my God, you should come to this party, everybody's gonna be there. And I was like, yeah, that's why I can't go. And I hate that. Of course I want to see everybody, but I can't handle, like, people could be wearing scents, and it's very overstimulating. And when I'm already overstimulated, I can't sort of handle all of that, and it's too much. So I couldn't go, and people don't really understand. The only people that understand are other people that have chronic illness and also can't go to events like that because of like the pain and their illness and their fatigue and the stuff that it would cause them. And to me, it wouldn't be overtaxing from a like, am I capable of going and spending a few hours out and hanging out standpoint. Like that I can do, just not with a big group of people because of the variables and the overstimulation. And when my nervous system is not feeling so shot as it is right now, I maybe could, I don't know. I haven't been brave enough to, I don't know, because I can do a farmer's market where there's lots of people, but it's outside in the air. It's different. I don't know everybody at the farmer's market. So I don't know. It's just, it's isolating sometimes, just right now. It's not, again, we lived in Wisconsin for 18 months and I knew nobody. And somehow that didn't feel so isolating. Like that didn't bother me. I really enjoyed the solitude. And I really did like just sort of being able to spend time just myself healing and working on that and just with my family. But yeah, here there's a lot of people that I used to know, and there's definitely the potential I don't know, it just feels more isolating than it did there because of that. Because I know I'm just so different to everybody else. Ugh, that's depressing. Sorry. I don't know. This is it. This is my week in healing. This is what's going on. I'm struggling, and yes, of course I look. There's no point in my struggles at which I would ever put a no food in my mouth. That is poison. I have no desire to eat any of that stuff because I know what it does in the body, and I'm already feeding the pathogens with my adrenaline. They're good. I don't need to add to that. So it doesn't matter how much of a failure I feel or whatever. Sorry, airplanes. We're in the path. It doesn't matter how much of a failure I feel or whatever. My failure is never going to be with the way I eat. Sometimes it might be with I haven't taken my supplements lately, or I haven't been taking my tinctures. That can happen. I have been taking my supplements and tinctures lately, so yay me, I get that. That's my pat on the back. I'm glad I have been doing that, and I am eating all the healing foods. It's just I'm eating more fat than I would like, and so that's my failure. The no foods aren't on my radar. They're not in my life. They don't come into this house. They don't come into this RV. They don't come into our world. It's not a thing. And even if I did go somewhere where there was people or whatever, which my nervous system's just like, no, don't even talk about it. That wouldn't even be a thing. It's not even tempting for me because I just see it. It doesn't look like food to me. It looks like, oh, there's a big plate of poison and there's a big plate of strep feeding whatever, this just feeds pathogens. I don't see it as food. So don't worry if I ever talk about feeling like a failure or stuff like that, or I can't go on. It is not about the medical medium path. It's not about that, because that's solid. I've been doing this for 3 years and it's solid. It's solid in me. It's a part of my life. It's so much a part of my life that I don't even think that people would think that that's what I'm talking about. I'm literally just talking about emotionally and what is happening around me, and that's where my struggle lies. And yeah, so if within that it would be oh, I'm eating fats and some salt, and and that makes me mad because that's not where I want to be, or I'm not eating raw till 4, and I have done so much better before at previous times. You hear Muffin snoring. Light heart right there. That's it, light heart. She's like, this will make you laugh, Mom. While you're trying to talk on your video, I'm just gonna be real loud when I snore. Yep. Yay for pets, right? They lift us up. Okay. I told you what I did with my food. Also, my mornings never change. I'll just add that. My mornings don't ever change. It's usually lemon water and then celery juice and then blended watermelon and then the heavy metal detox smoothie. But for the past 3 days, I think I have not been doing my blended melon for various reasons. We were looking at houses, actually. It's the weekend stuff had me just messed me up. So I need to get that back in because I got this half of this giant watermelon to eat, and plus I have 4 smaller melons I need to eat. I got a couple of cantaloupes. I got this other melon I can't remember the name of, and I got these 2 watermelons, 2 baby watermelons. I got excited at Costco. I don't usually go to Costco with my husband. He just goes by a list, whereas I'm like, ooh, they have this. Ooh, they have this. Ooh, they have this. And so we bought more stuff, and we always do when I go shop. So yeah, I got some melons to eat, so I need to get those going. And lately I have been juicing burdock root to support my liver and lymph system, and so I've been juicing that with apples, kale, and half a lemon. It's delicious. I love it. And so I've been trying to get that in every day, and I have been all about cooked foods for lunch and cooked foods for dinner. But I try to have them with raw foods so that at least I'm doing that. But and then I'm just happen to be okay, whatever you're doing right now is just what you're doing. It's what you need to do to cope. That's where I'm trying to have compassion for myself, because the other thing I do is what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Why can't you get it together? And That doesn't help anything, does it? It doesn't feel good. So that's, my food situation lately. It's still clean. It's still compliant. It's still really good for my body. It's a lot of healing foods. It's just, it's not where I want to be. It's just not what I want to be doing. And right now I just have to be okay with not doing exactly what I want to do, because I'm just kind of doing what I can. So anyway, my healers and health seekers, I love you so crazy much. I am just amazed. And okay, I'm not going to remember this person's name, and I hope you're watching this video because you'll know who you are. You messaged me on Instagram. The video I posted, Foggy Brain Dump, where it was like, please don't let this be the first video anybody watches on my channel because it's terrible. And this is not how I want to introduce myself to you. Like, I'm a mess. And you messaged me on Instagram and said, that was the first video I watched and I loved it, or it made it anyway. You subscribed and you followed me on Instagram and you messaged me and said that, and you like lit me up. I was like, what? I felt like apologizing to you, but I was also so incredibly moved. Like, how that was the first video and you wanted to keep watching more, because really I just felt so bad about that video, but I really also felt like I needed to post it. Interesting mental processes, like I didn't want to post it, but I felt like, no, you need to post this, and I was like, it's awful. Anyway, thank you, because I'm always just so blown away. I'm blown away when any of you message me and say that my videos made a difference in any way, because I always just think, I don't know how this works, but it's so cathartic for me and I love it, and I love the connections that I'm making with all of you through my videos, and I'm so grateful for that, and it's always, honestly, it's so helpful because it does give me things to be grateful for. And of course I do have, things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my son. I am grateful for my healing. I'm grateful that we have a place to be right now and that we do have the money to get a house if ever one comes on the market that works. It's like we have the money and we have income coming in, like all of these things. I do have so much to be grateful for. I think probably I definitely need to spend more time focusing on that and not just wallowing in how much I'm struggling, and maybe I need to have a gratitude journal, and maybe that's what I need to do. I have a gratitude journal. Maybe I need to get it out and start writing in it. Okay, thank you. You all give me something to be grateful for. Thank you. Something extra. Something, you have no idea how much it lights up my world when I get a comment from one of you guys. Just anything, like something saying like it makes a difference, or thank you, or just whatever. You guys say such amazing things. Or even if you're telling me about what's going on with you, you took the time to comment on my video and share yourself with me, and it makes a difference. And I just thank you. And if you are somebody who, when you're struggling like I have been struggling, and you have brain fog and it's too much to write a comment, but you even watch the video, that makes a difference. I mean, just like your presence makes a difference in the world, and you don't know how much. I think most of us have no idea the difference we make in the world, and we do. Any kindness we do for ourselves and any kindness we do for others makes such a difference. Okay, I'm gonna say one more thing before I sign up. The other night, my brain was running. It was after we had gone and seen those houses, and I just felt so deflated and defeated and so sad. And I was like, are we ever gonna find a house? Are we ever gonna find a place to be? And because what we're looking at when we go look at houses is just not, it's like, it's not working. It doesn't fit. It's not healthy environments. It's not good. And so I'm like, is this what we have to accept? Like, what do I need to adjust something? Or, like there was one house that was kind of like, this maybe almost could work, except the basement, I got two tall guys and the basement ceiling was too short and they would be bumping. My husband did bump his head like a couple of times just looking at the house. And then I'm like, that's not gonna work. And the garage was moldy. The rest of the house was not, but the garage was, and that's not good. It's not gonna work. So I was so deflated and so defeated, and my brain was racing. I'm a Virgo. I have a Virgo brain. The Virgo brain is very analytical. And thank goodness I have Cancer rising, but I'm a Virgo in my core, and so my Virgo brain was racing and would not let me go to sleep. I just couldn't. I'm laying there, and I had already talked to the angels and asked the angel of sleep to sleep. I had taken my melatonin. I had done all the things, ate a banana. I did everything that usually just puts me right to dreamland, and I usually don't have trouble falling asleep. But this night I just could not. And it was like the thoughts were like heavy and intense and hard and racing. And finally I was like, that's it. And I got up and I turned on my phone, and I looked at my phone, and there were a couple of messages from people who were reaching out and asking questions and needed help. And I started answering one or two of them. I'm not sure. I think it was one. I think I started answering one of them, and then I kind of ended up kind of in a chat with the person. And at the end of it, she was saying, thank you so much. This is helping me have hope, and this is helping me believe that I can heal. Thank you. This has been so amazing. And I felt so much lighter because I had been of service to someone, because I had helped somebody have hope and feel like they could heal. And I went to sleep after that conversation. When I turned off my phone again, because I always turn off my phone when I sleep, I went right to sleep. It was like, I needed to get outside myself and be of service to somebody to stop my racing mind. And I was like, what a gift that was to me. And she didn't know, of course, like she needed help, but that was a gift to me, to be able to offer that support and to let somebody know that, no, you can heal. This is not your fault, and there is hope for you. Of course there's hope for you. Yes, you can heal. I've seen so many people with mast cell activation disorder heal. I really have. It takes a while. Yes, we're more sensitive, and it does take a while, but there is healing, and it does happen. I can do so much more now that I could not do, like leave my house and not need a wheelchair and so many things. And so, what a gift. What a gift. What a gift. What a gift. And I was so grateful for that. Okay, this is a long video. I'm sorry. It's gonna be long. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to just thank you. When I started this channel, I didn't even think I'd have an audience. I thought if one person watches my videos, or if I can touch one person in one way, and that would be everything. And it still is. Every single day, every single time somebody says that my videos make a difference, or that they started watching my videos when it was like the worst video I think I've made, and they still wanted to watch more. Like, what? You guys make my day. It's just amazing. What a gift this channel has been to me. Oh, getting a little teary. Okay, so there it comes. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. Thank you for your questions and your comments and your love and your support, and thank you for doing the hard work of healing, because holy moly, sometimes it is hard. Okay, what just happened is my camera cut out because both of my batteries died, and now I'm gonna finish this on my phone. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button down there, and you can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post a new video. I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey, and remember that you can heal. I love you so much. This is my virtual hug to all of you. If I could hug you in person, I totally would. I will see you next time, my healers and health seekers. Stay curious. Bye-bye.